Welcome to Live Interactive English. I am Shane.
And I am Karen. Today we are looking at part 1 of Longdong, a rock climber's paradise. Wow, we're talking about Longdong in Taiwan. Have you ever been there?
You know, maybe.
Maybe.
Because I know it's like kind of like between like Geelong and like Yilan, right? And I'm not positive because I took a lot of trips with my parents-in-law when I first came to Taiwan, and they would take me places, and like there's all these places I've been even filming for LIVEABC, and I just kind of let someone take me there, then I'm there, and then they tell me what the name is, and then I forget. And so maybe.
You should really learn about these beautiful places. You know, Longdong is actually really famous for snorkeling. A lot of people go there to go snorkeling, but we're talking about Longdong as a rock climber's paradise. That's something I didn't know.
So, because everything there is up against the mountain, right? The whole coastline, kind of, there's mountains everywhere.
That's right.
Have you ever gone rock climbing, like real rock climbing in the mountains?
Do I look like I would go rock climbing?
Well, if we know Karen, she's not the rock climbing type. I've done a little bit of rock climbing. I'd say like basic level.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
like real rock climbing.
Yeah, like small, doing small things, but mostly like when I go, I'll do like ropes, like on the side of a mountain, like you have to get up and climb a rope. But how about like at least a rock climbing wall indoors?
I have done that before. That's great. It's actually quite fun, but it requires a lot of physical strength.
You gotta be pretty strong.
I'm not very strong.
No. All right, let's find out more about Longdong, a rock climber's paradise.
Rock climbing has been my hobby for over 10 years. I love the physical challenge of it, and also the beautiful places that it takes me to. Before I came to Taiwan, I spent a lot of time climbing in many different countries. When I moved here 4 years ago, something surprised me. While Taiwan has a lot of famous mountains, there's one little spot on the northeast coast that all the rock climbers here talk about. It turns out that Longdong is a rock climber's paradise. Longdong translates as Dragon's Cave. It's an interesting place because there are tall cliffs and caves right next to the sea.
Okay, so as we promised, part 1, Longdong, a rock climber's paradise. Let's learn about this paradise.
I can't wait.
Rock climbers go and they just think it's wonderful.
That's right. So let's explain this word paradise. So this is a noun. Paradise is a place or state of great happiness and contentment where everything is as one would like it to be. For example, you could say, this store is a book lover's paradise. That means when you're in it, you feel it's wonderful. What a fantastic place.
Yeah, like you're going to an ice cream shop and there's like lots of flavors and you see it's like, wow, this is an ice cream lover's paradise.
Exactly.
Okay, let's start the article.
All right.
So we should start by saying that this is somebody who is actually talking, like their narrative, talking about something that they've experienced, so they're talking about it in the first person, okay? So rock climbing has been my hobby for over 10 years.
Wow.
All right, so that's not me. That's the author talking.
Okay.
I love the physical challenge of it and also the beautiful places that it takes me to. Okay, so yeah, rock climbing could be a hobby. I would say a bit of a dangerous hobby.
Well, it's challenging, right? But you will get better, the more you practice, right?
But it is dangerous.
You're right.
You know? I mean, depending on the levels that you're doing. Like the level that I did was just quite simple.
Like beginner,
but
right?
It was still dangerous because I was free climbing.
You were?
Yeah. I was just climbing up the rock.
But were you not scared?
A little bit, but when I was a kid, I was like a monkey.
Okay.
So I did this when I was a little bit younger, and so I wasn't really scared. I should say a lot bit younger, to be honest.
Okay, let's go back to the article.
Okay.
So the author continues to say, before I came to Taiwan, I spent a lot of time climbing in many different countries. Okay, so he has been to different countries.
Lots of experience.
That's right, and then climbing in different places. When I moved here 4 years ago, something surprised me. Okay, so the author actually moved to Taiwan 4 years ago. Oh. And then he said that something surprised him.
Okay, well, let's find out what surprised this rock climber. While Taiwan has a lot of famous mountains, there's one little spot on the northeast coast that all the rock climbers here talk about.
I think I might know.
Oh, so there are lots of mountains, but maybe not a lot of famous mountains for rock climbing. There might just be like there's this one or one that's really famous that people here, if they're rock climbers, that's where they go and rock climb.
That's right.
Okay.
So, it turns out that Longdong is a rock climber's paradise. So he's talking about Longdong. And like I told you before, Longdong is also famous for snorkeling. But I think, a rock climber's paradise, I think a lot of people who don't go rock climbing, they probably don't know that about Longdong.
Yeah, and Longdong translates as Dragon's Cave.
Ooh.
That's kind of fun.
That's right.
That would make me more excited to go there, knowing that, there's maybe I'll find a dragon in the cave. I've always wanted to discover a dragon. So what does it mean when you say Longdong translates as dragon cave? So translate just means to express the meaning of speech or writing in a different language. So, for example, he told me the word translates as thanks in English.
Ah, okay, like translating a language.
That's right.
It's an interesting place because there are tall cliffs and caves right next to the sea. Okay.
That's really special.
It is.
It sounds to you thinking of the danger, right?
Exactly. I was thinking about it's actually quite dangerous, no?
You fall off into the sea.
Yeah.
And a lot of rocks and stuff that are near the sea because of the constant tides and the pushing of the water. That you would imagine there would be more rock slides there, right?
That's right.
And especially the earthquakes that are in Taiwan. Oh man, now I'm starting to get a little bit scared for this guy.
I think, it sounds dangerous, but I can also imagine it to be a beautiful place.
That's what I was thinking. It's just wow, you can be rock climbing and you're right next to the sea.
You're enjoying the view.
Can you imagine the view from the cliffs there?
Exactly. So what's a cliff? So cliff, that is a noun. A cliff is a high, steep face of rock or earth often found on a coast. So for example, you could say there are many beautiful cliffs along the east coast of the island. All right, okay, so I guess it would be a beautiful place where you can go rock climbing, and that is why the author says it's a rock climber's paradise.
That's right. I can just imagine going there and, going with some friends, climbing up there, and then just seeing the views of the sea.
Exactly.
Sounds majestic.
And I guess it's probably not that dangerous when you think of it. Even if you fall into the sea, you can just swim, right?
But you're pretty high up. I don't know. Let's take a break. We'll figure that one out later.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是龙洞 A Rock Climber's Paradise。那么龙洞 攀岩者的天堂。我们看到 paradise 这个字就是天堂乐园的意思。Karen 老师在解释单字时，他用到 contentment， contentment，contentment 这个字就是满足、满意的意思。那 Shane 老师说，这篇文章的作者以第一人称来叙述，他用到 narrative，narrative 就是叙述的意思，它是当名词。那作者一开始提到10多年来，攀岩一直是他业余爱好，他花了很多时间在许多不同国家攀岩。4年前搬到台湾时，他就发现，尽管这边有许多著名的山脉，但是在东北岸有一个小地方是所有攀岩者都会提到的，那就是龙洞。原来龙洞是攀岩者的天堂。那龙洞翻译为龙的洞穴，可以看到高耸的悬崖和洞穴就在海边，这听起来蛮危险的，可是景色应该是很壮丽的。那 Shane 老师他用到 majestic 来形容 majestic 可以形容壮丽的、雄伟的。Karen 老师则提到龙洞以浮潜闻名，他用到 snorkeling 就表示浮潜。课文单字则用到 translate 或是念作 translate 表示翻译。translate as 名词就可以表达在另外一个语言中意思是什么什么这样子。那么 cliff 它是指悬崖，常常是指海边的悬崖峭壁。那这边有2个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是连接词 while 的用法。那首先它可以表达虽然、尽管，会跟 although 意思相同。例如 while the car is old, it's still in good condition。虽然这辆车子旧了，但它的车况还是很好。那第二个 while 可以表达在什么期间、与什么同时，就相当于 when。像 Jenny set the table while her mom cooked。Jenny 在她妈妈做饭时摆好餐具。那第三个可以用 while 来表达然而，这时候相当于 whereas， 用来说明对比或者是相反的情况。例如 while Ed likes to travel with his friends, his brother prefers to travel alone。 Ed 喜欢跟朋友一起旅行，而他哥哥喜欢独自旅行。第二个重点是 turn out， 它表示结果是怎么样，最后变成怎么样，通常用来指令人意外或者是跟计划不同的事。常常用句型 it turns out that 主词加动词来表达结果发现怎么样，最后变成怎么样。例如 it turns out that they have been dating for months， 结果发现他们已经交往好几个月嘞。好，那接着回到课文中。
The rock here is some of the hardest in Taiwan. As such, the cliffs are perfect for climbing, which is Longdong's main draw for me. For those who don't know, the sport of rock climbing involves getting to the top of a rock face with one's hands and feet. Climbers wear special shoes that help them climb and have ropes to catch them if they fall. While one person climbs, his or her partner holds the rope from the ground.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi there.
So before the break, we were looking at this article, and the author is talking about his hobby, right?
Which is rock climbing.
That's right. And it has been the author's hobby for about 10 years. And we know that this author has been going rock climbing in different countries.
All over the world been rock climbing.
Exactly. But I think he moved to Taiwan 4 years ago, and he discovered this rock climber's paradise called Longdong, and it's got, cliffs and caves next to the sea, which makes it really unique and special.
Yeah, so it really does sound like a little rock climber's paradise. Okay, well, let's learn more about Longdong and the rock climbing there.
All right.
So the rock here is some of the hardest in Taiwan. Yeah, I think rock is usually pretty hard.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, but this is hard, some of the hardest. So I guess that matters when you're rock climbing. Continuing, as such, the cliffs are perfect for climbing, which is Longdong's main draw for me. Okay, so when you have the harder rocks, because rock being soft might just mean that when you're trying to climb it, it might fall off.
Oh, it would be more dangerous, right?
But if the rocks are really hard, then, you don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's what it is because that's just one of the main draws for him. A draw there would just mean that something that attracts you. So to be drawn to something, if you're using it as a verb, means you're attracted to something. It's attractive. So the draw can be used as a noun, and it just means attraction.
All right. Okay, let's continue. For those who don't know, the sport of rock climbing involves getting to the top of a rock face with one's hands and feet. Yeah, and then also, involves a lot of physical strength, right? You really, need a lot of physical strength. So the word involve, to involve, that is a verb. It just basically means to call for, to require something. For example, the job involved building 10 bridges. Or we have another example sentence. Going there involves taking 2 different trains.
Oh, okay. All right, so continuing the article. Climbers wear special shoes that help them climb and have ropes to catch them if they fall.
Okay, so it's not that dangerous, right? They do have rope and they have special shoes.
But, you have to put some spikes or something that's in the face of the mountain and the rock. And if that falls out, even if you have ropes,
the ropes can't save you.
It can't save you. So it's still quite dangerous, but that's one protective mechanism that they do use.
Okay.
Right.
So while one person climbs, his or her partner holds the rope from the ground. So that means you can't exactly do this by yourself, right? If you're doing real rock climbing, you have to go with a partner or a bunch of friends. That would be a lot safer than going alone.
Yeah, well, I had mentioned that when I was a kid, I would go to the beach. So it was also actually near the sea. And it wasn't really a place that was famous for rock climbing, but there were some hills. I wouldn't call them quite mountains. They weren't that big. But it was, I would just climb up the hill, which was rocks, and I said that I was free climbing. And when you're free climbing, that means that you're not using any ropes. You could just do it by yourself, although I would do this with friends. But yeah, when you're doing it for real, you need to have the ropes, you need to have special shoes. And when professionals or even amateurs are doing this, they need specialized gear.
That's right.
So when we say gear, we just mean
things that you can wear.
It could be objects, also equipment that you use to do some type of thing, right? So
I think it's important to have fun. Enjoy your hobby, but safety is always number one, right?
Yeah, but if there's, no risk, no reward,
That's true.
So I can imagine it's quite exciting. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for this lesson, but guess what?
What?
There's a part 2 to this, so we get to learn even more about this guy, this girl, this rock climbers experience. So that's it for today, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
作者提到，龙洞那里的岩石是台湾数一数二坚硬的，所以很适合攀爬。他也向我们说明，攀岩需要用手和脚攀爬到岩壁的顶端。那攀岩者会穿特殊的鞋子来协助攀爬，并带着绳索，万一摔落的话可以被接住。而当一个人在攀爬的时候，他的搭档会在地面拉住绳索。Shane老师刚刚谈到保护机制以及特殊的专门装备，那老师用到名词 mechanism。mechanism 就表示机制，还有用到 specialized， 在 special 后面加上 ized， 那这个字是形容专门的或是专业化的。课文单字 involve 则是动词，表示需要、包含或是涉及的意思。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边要介绍关系代名词 which 可以引导非限定形容词子句，用来补述说明前方的事物。那必须用逗号把它跟句子隔开。那首先来看第一个用法，它可以用来补述说明先行词。这个先行词会是专有名词或是独一无二的事物。例如 She lives in Seoul, which is the capital of South Korea. 她住在首尔，那是南韩的首都。那后半句这个 which is the capital of South Korea 就是用来补充说明首尔是南韩的首都。好，第二个用法是用来代指前面的整件事情来做补述说明。那我们看个例句是 Nick got a 0 on the math test, which made his mother angry. Nick 数学考0分，这让他妈妈很生气。那这时候 which 代指前面说的这个 Nick 数学考0分这件事情，那这件事让妈妈生气了。好，那么以上今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Rock climbing has been my hobby for over 10 years. I love the physical challenge of it and also the beautiful places that it takes me to. Before I came to Taiwan, I spent a lot of time climbing in many different countries. When I moved here 4 years ago, something surprised me. While Taiwan has a lot of famous mountains, there's one little spot on the northeast coast that all the rock climbers here talk about. It turns out that Longdong is a rock climber's paradise. Longdong translates as Dragon's Cave. It's an interesting place because there are tall cliffs and caves right next to the sea. The rock here is some of the hardest in Taiwan. As such, the cliffs are perfect for climbing, which is Longdong's main draw for me. For those who don't know, the sport of rock climbing involves getting to the top of a rock face with one's hands and feet. Climbers wear special shoes that help them climb and have ropes to catch them if they fall. While one person climbs, his or her partner holds the rope from the ground.
Hey, 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 it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki. And I'm Winnie. And it's gonna be lunchtime soon, which is time for my favorite treat, French fries dipped in ice cream.
What? That sounds so weird.
You just don't get it. IYK.
What?
It's abbreviation time.
It's time to work on some abbreviations. The first one is JSYK.
Just say you know.
Just so you know.
Just let you know.
Just said you know.
Just what you know.
Just save your kindness.
Okay, this one's really hard. This is just so you know.
Oh no.
Okay, how about this though? This is easier. This is one word.
Together.
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 Yes, very good. Okay, we also have BC.
Because.
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 What does C mean?
BC.
Why don't you sound
These
that out?
two are clues.
What does it sound
Clues.
like?
So you might use
Because.
this. Very good, because. Okay, what did we learn today? Let's work on today's abbreviations. Our first one is JSYK, just so you know. Just so you know. So for example, you could say, just so you know, class is canceled. Next, we have TGT. It's a short form of the word together. Together. So for example, you could say, let's go grab lunch together. And last but not least, we have BC, because. So it's a short form of the word because. So you could say, I can't go out today because I have a ton of homework. That's all we have for today. Kiwi later.